Hey, it's Michael Greco in Santa Monica, California. This video is brought to you by ASMP, Wonderful Machine, and TitanCopyright.com. Let's get started with a registration for unpublished work. Before we get started, I'm a big fan of naming your files correctly and being organized. It's really important to have consistent file names so that you don't change them from when you shoot to when you submit them to when you archive them. The file name should be consistent. If you want to know a good file naming convention, please check out my video, The Best File Naming Convention, on this channel, and we've linked to it on the side here. Okay, let's get started. I have made two folders here of a shoot in the past for Time magazine of Steve Martin, and one folder is called MG Published and MGP Published, and the other folder is called MGP Unpublished. It's only a few images. I'm just trying to show you what to do. Once you make sure your work is organized and named correctly, you need to open an account on the eco.copyright.gov. That's the Electronic Copyright Office, which is where you digitally, through their portal, submit your copyright application. What you're then going to do is never use what's called a standard application. This is for one image to be registered. It's nothing more. You will screw yourself up if you try to do a group registration on this, and you get much more bang for the buck if you use a group registration. As we discussed earlier, you could do everything in a particular year on one application. So you want to go down to register a group of photographs right here. Nowhere else. You want to use register a group of photographs, and you want to start there, right? So what I do in preparation is make sure I have 500, approximately 400 to 500 pixel JPEGs named correctly, ready to go to the Copyright Office. And in this case, they're watermarked. They don't need to be watermarked, but they are watermarked. And I've only pulled 4 images from the shoot just to make this expedient. So once your files are named correctly and organized, for purposes of this demonstration, I have got 2 folders here. One from a shoot for Time magazine of Steve Martin. It was the cover of the arts feature section, and there are 2 images that were published. One was the arts feature section cover, and then the spread inside. And then I pulled 4 images of the unpublished work, just for purposes of demonstration. So the files are named correctly. The files are prepared size-wise. They're anywhere between 450 and 500 pixels. You go to your account on the Electronic Copyright Office and say Start Registration. Remember, we're using that link to the form Registration of Group Photographs, and only that one. You don't want to use the other any other ones, right? So when you say Start Registration, you'll select either unpublished or published photographs. This is where you need to know the difference. We're going to start with unpublished photographs. It gives you the list of requirements. They all have to be photographs. They're all unpublished and were created by the same author and are owned by the same copyright claimant. The group contains 750 photographs or less, right? So you click agree and then you continue. You have to name your submission. And in naming your submission, you want to be able, this is all part of being organized internally, right? So the same way I name my files by using a year, month, day, I do my unpublished submissions in a time period, and I do my published submissions in a time period. So we're just going to create a naming convention here. And since this is Steve Martin, I'm sort of making up this name here, but I'm going to cut the name of the folder, and I'm going to say that these are all the images published in 2007 from 11/1 to 11/30. Greco unpublished, right? Just so it's clear. I'm going to make sure that the grammar is right. So the year of completion is 2007, and the maximum number of photographs in this submission is 4. I've cut it down to 4, right? So we have a very, very clear, if we really want to be precise, I'm going to take out, for the purposes of this English text title, I'm going to take out the underscores. We have a very, very clear naming convention. It goes from November 1st to November 30th, and it's going to include this shoot. There could be other shoots, as we discussed. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to continue. Then it's asking for the author. Who shot it? If you're a work for hire for your company is the author. If it's you individually, to keep it simple, you're the author. I am going to put in my name here. I am a citizen of the United States. My domicile, well, you don't fill in domicile if you're an individual. Year of birth, if I must tell you. That's all you need if you're filling this out as an individual. You move on to the next section, copyright claimants, right? And the copyright claimant is who? It's either your company or you. It doesn't matter. It's again, if you do business with staff and a company, and there are people that might answer the phone or respond, you might want to do it in the name of your organization. But I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to put in my name again, and put in my address. I'm making this stuff up now. All right, my state is California, and my country is the United States, and I'm going to save that. I'm the copyright claimant. Okay? Now, I'm going to use this that I filled out, and it will pick that up and use that. And then the next is, who do they come to for rights and permissions? So for rights and permissions, it's me. Again, I'm going to keep it simple. Greco, I'm going to give my email. And I'm just making this stuff up for the purposes of the form. I don't want 20 people calling me. And so now you go to me for the rights and permissions. Who do they correspond with? It's a little redundant, but they're going to correspond with me. Okay, they're going to call me. Who has a fax anymore? Isn't that kind of crazy? Okay, so I've filled all this out for correspondence. There is a button to add me. If they have you in the system, you can add yourself to make it easy. I'm not going to hit it because, you know, I'm just keeping a little under the radar here with my personal phone number and email. And same thing here. Where do you want them to mail the certificate? So I'm going to put my wife's last name as my middle name because I changed my name, being as progressive as possible. My middle name's actually her last name, and then okay. All right, California, the postal code, country's United States, and we're going to go, when you click the button from mail certificate to special handling. You do special handling if you have a copyright case that needs to get filed and you need your certificate rushed. I try not to do special handling because it's very expensive. So we usually skip that part. Then now when we go to certification, it's asking you what's the title of the Excel. I'm actually going to even grab the Excel name, the extension, and I'm going to paste this here. So let's put this back. I certify, and name of the certifying individual is me. And then I put the name of the Excel here. And if you have any notes and so on, and all right. So you're going to hit continue. And now it's going to have you pay for this and upload. Right? And I'm not going to pay for it and upload it. I'm just going to show you. But here are the things that need to happen now to have this be precise. The Copyright Office wants you to fill out this unpublished Excel. So the easy way to do this is to open the folder of images. And remember, these are only 4 images from the shoot. But if you select all the images and copy, Apple actually copies the name. And you can put it right here in the Excel. I'm going to expand these fields. I'm going to close this field a little bit just so... no, they've made this all fancy. I'm not going to bother. They used to require you and ask you to remove all the... underscores and dots and .jpeg. They don't require that anymore. So all we're going to do now is copy this again right here. As we drop this in, it's asking you for the title of the photographs. That would be if the title of the photographs is different from the file names. Mine are not. I mean, for the purposes of registration, my title of the photographs are exactly the same as the file names. So we're going to now drop the file names back in there, and then we're going to get a list. They want you to use this list. Watch this. You're going to copy this list, and they want you to go back to the title, and they want you in the title, believe it or not, we're going to edit this to include, and what this field does that's so fancy is it puts a comma at the end of each name. That's why they have this last box, and it enables it to be added to the overall file name. So what the Copyright Office is asking you for is, okay, this is the global name for the submission, but these are some of the images that are in it, and we're going to put the name of those images in the title so that no one can be confused and we can show what images you named. All right? It maxes out at 1,995 characters, which is, anywhere between 20 names, I forget what it is, and 50 names, something like that. It's not a lot. It doesn't have the whole list. If you fill this up to 750 images, you're not going to have every name in the title, but I'm going to add that there. They also want you to put the case number in the Excel up here. So I am going to grab the case number from where I updated the title, and I'm going to add the case number to there. There it is. Okay, so the Excel is now complete. It's been named properly. It's got the name of the overall submission. It's got the name of the images I'm submitting. I've copied and pasted the list in what would be column A, B, C, D. I've copied and named this and added those names to the title of the submission. Those are the things to make sure you get correct, to keep your eye on the prize, is to make sure that you've added the file names to the overall submission title and that you've put the case number at the top, right? You're now going to save this. So then I put everything in a folder that has the exact same title of this as the submission. So I cut and paste the submission. The submission is a date range in November of 2007. for computer purposes, I'm going to put underscores between it all just to be safe, so that every type of computer can read it. Older computers had an issue with blank spaces. I'm now going to take the folder of images of Steve Martin and put it in there. I'm also going to take the Excel spreadsheet and put it in there, and I'm going to compress the file. And this is what I'm going to upload to the Copyright Office.